Hey everyone, it's Caleb from Brickloaf, and today's December 7th, so we're going to look at the first week of 4 different LEGO Advent calendars, so let's begin. So the first calendar we're going to look at here is the LEGO City one, which comes with a little playmat on the bottom with little roads and a parking spot, and the first thing we're building here is a bus. It's not a bad mini build, it looks good, and I like how they did the wheels. And if you want to play with them, you can just scoot them across the little playmat down here. Now the second build here was actually a little confusing for me. I believe that it's supposed to be a car wash and the brush on the outside gives that away, but without that brush, I just wouldn't know what this is. It's interesting, the bus can fit through it, but it's not my favorite. The next build is a red and white pole with a lamp post with a letter on it, and it's on a snowy patch of ground. Not too much to say about this one. But this next one's interesting because it's an ambulance, and it uses a cast for a minifigure's hand as the exhaust, so that's pretty cool. On the next day we got a police officer with a hockey stick and a hockey puck, and that was nice to have our first minifigure from this set. The next build is actually a police car, and like the ambulance, it uses handcuffs as the back part, which is interesting. They seem to be going with a theme there. And already the second minifigure is a burglar with a gem and a hockey stick and ice skates as well. So far I'm pretty impressed with the LEGO City Advent Calendar. Next is the Avengers calendar, and I'm pretty satisfied with what we got from it. I think we can use a few of the micro builds in our city, and it came with quite a few minifigures. The first one was Iron Man, who came in a holiday sweater with repulsors, and he has a helmet and jets for his feet as well, and if you turn his head around on the other side, there's a screen face for his Iron Man helmet. The second door wasn't exciting, there wasn't anything to build. It was actually these repulsor fire pieces that they usually give you in sets, and all you had to do is open a bag and you can put them in his hands and feet, but it wasn't that impressive. Now the third day was a cool callback to the Iron Man Hall of Armor set. This is actually one of the armor stands, and it's been turned into a holiday display with a Christmas wreath, but it's built just like it is in the armory, and I thought that was really interesting. The next was Black Widow, and she has a double-sided face, and she holds the two little rods there, one with some snow on the end. Now the fifth day came with a grill here with a fire extinguisher, a little turkey leg roasting on top, and some tongs. This actually wouldn't look bad in the park area later on. And to go with the grill on the next day was a table with a burger and a cup on a diner style tabletop. Not sure how well that'll look in a park, but we can find a use for it elsewhere. And on the last day was Spider-Man. He's holding a churro and a cup, and he has a nice little Spider-Man jacket there as well. So far I'm pretty happy about the Avengers calendar. Now we move on to the Harry Potter calendar, which is interesting because the bottom plate here is actually like a board game. Eventually you'll be building a spinning top that you use to move around the board, and each of the things you build fits in a certain spot. Now on the first day we got the Privet Drive sign, which is pretty much a copy from the one from the Privet Drive set. It would have been nice to see them do something new here, but maybe we can find use for this somewhere. On the second day we got Harry Potter. He's in his dirty clothes from when he was at the Dursley's house, and he's got a double-sided head. Not much to say here, it's a nice figure. The next day's build was the most confusing. So it's actually a chimney, and you pull out the little tile there to let the letters drop, but until you build later on, it's kind of hard to know what this is because it didn't come with any letters. You actually get the letters, a broom, and a shovel the next day, and that kind of cleared it up as to what this was, and you can attach them and put them on top of the chimney there. So it was an alright build. And it also came with a little wreath. There's nowhere to hang it, so it just has to sit on the ground, which is kind of weird. The most exciting build is the cake here that Hagrid made, and it comes with a little box you can put it inside of. And that's pretty unique, I don't think I've seen that before. So I like that they added it here. On the next day we got Dudley. He's got a double-sided face and a pigtail on the back. I think this figure was used in Privet Drive as well, so it's alright. The next day was a sign for the Leaky Cauldron, and this kind of got our hopes up that maybe they'll do a Leaky Cauldron set in the future, so let's see if they do it. And then you just stack the pieces where the numbered spots for them are, and eventually when you get the top you'll be able to spin and move the characters around the board. But you can see the progression, it seems to be going towards Hogwarts from Harry's time at Privet Drive. I like how this calendar is kind of centered towards Harry's journey to Hogwarts rather than just being random builds from the Harry Potter series. We're really looking forward to finding out what we'll get this next week. And because we don't really collect the Friends stuff, our last advent calendar is the LEGO Star Wars advent calendar. And the bottom of this one's pretty plain. There's not as much playability as the others, but that's fine. The first build is the Razor Crest from The Mandalorian. It seems that most of the builds in this set are Mandalorian related. The second build is Riot Mars Starfighter. Didn't really know who this character was, it's from The Mandalorian, but interesting build anyway. On the third day we got the first character, which is a Stormtrooper. The helmet actually seems kind of new to me, I haven't seen it before, so that was really nice to see. And the next day was a little E-Web cannon that shoots little snow studs. It's a cool build. It looks a little weird because it has the stud shooter and it has the end that's supposed to look like the real end. And the next day was a little disappointment. It was 2 targets that you can use to shoot the studs. It only took like 6 pieces to build this, and I'm not really going to be trying to shoot them down, so I really have no use for these. But the next day was a troop transport from The Mandalorian as well. It was pretty easy to tell what this was, so I think they did a good job modeling it. And the next build was probably the most complicated build on any of the calendars so far. It is a speeder, but again, it was easy to tell what it was, and it looks really good as well. So far I'm really happy with the builds from all the calendars, and I look forward to what we're going to get in the next few weeks, so keep an eye out for that next video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and be sure to subscribe to see future content.